Good evening and welcome. I'm Padmaja Joshi. You're watching the Newshour Agenda. All eyes are now on the 23rd, but remember, this election is one which was called a highly polarized one. The opposition party said that they wanted to save secularism from a BJP that was dubbed anti-Muslim. So, did the Muslims in our country agree with the opposition and more specifically the Congress's assertions? Let's see what our exit poll data tells us. Take a look at the breakup of the Muslim vote in this election. Now, here is what our exit poll projection, our numbers say about how the Muslim vote has been divided. How have the Muslims in India voted? Take a look at the Congress's vote share. 38% of the vote is with the Congress, 11.3% is with the BJP, others have got 16.26%, but this is the critical number. 34.44%, almost the same as the Congress vote, has gone to regional parties. Regional parties like the Trinamool, the Samajwadi Party, the TMC, they have managed to get a substantial chunk of the Muslim vote. In earlier elections in the 90s, a good 40 to 45% of the vote, the Muslim vote, used to be with the Congress. Not so anymore. Now let's take a look at the state-wise breakdown. I have looked at some of the key states where the Muslim vote played a very important part. Let's start with West Bengal. In West Bengal, the Congress is 7% of the Muslim vote. That's it, 7%. BJP is a close second to the Congress here, 3%. Even the TMC has more of the Muslim vote than the Congress here, 24%, and naturally a lion's share has gone to the Trinamool Congress. Let's take a look at the next state. Very important, Uttar Pradesh. Here, the Mahagathbandhan has a whopping 75%. If it was 65% for Mamata Banerjee's TMC in West Bengal, all the Muslims in a massive bloc in Uttar Pradesh decided to go with the Mahagathbandhan. The Congress has 11%. The BJP in Uttar Pradesh got as much of the Muslim vote as the Congress, and others had 3%. What does this tell us? It tells us that wherever there is a strong option other than the Congress for the Muslims go for the other option. Take a look at Maharashtra. You know why this is shocking? Because in Maharashtra, you have the BJP Sena getting 11%. The Congress has a huge, this is a mistake, it's a 62% vote that went to the Congress. But the outfit which was floated by Prakash Ambedkar and the AIMIM's Asaduddin Owaisi together, even they have a 19.7%. So people, the Muslims, while they have voted for the Congress, they are exploring other alternatives to the Congress in Maharashtra as well. What does this tell us? Is this telling us that as far as the Muslims are concerned, they do not think that they can throw in their lot with the Congress? They are looking for strong other options. And should that not ring an alarm bell for the grand old party, which said that we are the sole flag bearer of secularism, the Muslims in the country are not so convinced. All right, now let me tell you whether this is a crisis. I'll just take this graphic in a bit. Let me go straight across now to the debate, and if we have the guest through at this point, I want to go across to our panel now. Tehseen Poonawala, Zafar Sareshwala, Syed Aslam, Shazia Ilmi are now joining me along with Varis Pathan of the AIMIM. My first question is to Tehseen Poonawala. Are you surprised, Tehseen?
No, I'm not really surprised, Padmaja. And Zafar Bhai is on your show. Zafar Bhai and I have had this discussion. I've had this discussion with senior Congress leaders, and there is a problem in the Congress that we need to address, because I'm a strong Congress voter. I've always voted the Congress. Let me put that up front. The problem with the Congress is this. Where the Congress is fighting the BJP and there is no option, the Congress leadership, minus the Gandhis, believe me, the Gandhis, since I know them personally, are the most secular people you'd find. But the Congress leadership, minus the Gandhis, do not field Muslims. This is true of Gujarat, it's minimal. This is true of Jharkhand in this Lok Sabha election, no Muslim candidates. This is in Chhattisgarh. In fact, Jharkhand, I had a winning candidate. I kept telling, field him, he would have won. But you know, the Congress has a problem. So now, in Uttar Pradesh, you field Muslims. What happens is, the votes then the votes then transfer to the BJP. Second thing, there's one more fundamental problem that is there. In Bihar, for example, Tanveer Saab was a fantastic candidate. There was no business for Kanhaiya to be there. It was the duty of the Congress to convince Sitaram Yechury to ask Kanhaiya not to fight from Begusarai, because Giriraj will benefit. In Karnataka, Prakash Raj should not have contested against Rizwan. Rizwan's a great guy. मुस्लिम नेतृत्व मुसलमान करेंगे, कोई कन्हैया क्यों करे, कोई प्रकाश राज क्यों करे, यहां दिक्कत आ रही है. So Congress needs to stand up for Muslims, oppressed and Dalits. Congress has to return to being Nehru's Congress. The more Congress is going to be the B team of BJP, people will go for the A game. The A game is Modi. You'll get the best. Please be Nehru's Congress and you will win, because Hindus are not communal. Padmaja, I know you are not communal. You don't have a problem with Muslim leadership.
Absolutely.
You want progressive
but you know,
Muslims
maybe Syed Aslam,
them.
it's this long tradition of Muslims just being treated as a vote bank that is now backfiring for the Congress. You can't just take people for granted.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. I think Muslims have been considered as a vote bank for a very, very long time now. I agree with you, Padmaja. But having said that, if your analysis is based on the exit polls which have recently come out, I completely reject that. These are the exit polls and these are not the exact polls. But coming back to the point which we are discussing about Muslims, we have seen the kind of polarization which has been used by the BJP. They were neck deep in polarization. When they've given tickets to Sadhvi Pragya, who was a terror blast accused, and we've seen the neck deep polarization by BJP. And it's very obvious that the Muslims have tried to vote against the BJP. If there is a regional party which is strong in that region, they have voted for them. And to a larger extent, I think I agree with Tehseen that the Congress has failed.
No, sir, I disagree with you. And the reason why I disagree with you is, just take a look at the data of how the Congress has fared vis-a-vis Muslims over the last 5 elections and how the BJP has fared. Just take one look at that all India figure for the Congress and the BJP, and it shows the Congress has steadily declined, and then over the last 3 elections, it's just stuck. It's stuck at 38% because people are now going to look for other alternatives. The Congress is not the one for them. Zafar Sareshwala. It's not just about state to state. It's an all India comparison.
Padmaja, it's not about your exit poll, but there is a silent churning happening in the Muslim community. I mean, take a larger picture. If you take Muslims, then Muslims are as aspirational as any Indian. I mean, for God's sake, if we say that we have the largest youth in the country, so you have proportional same amount of youth within the Muslim community. If you say we have 300, 400 million middle class, then we have same proportion in the Muslim community. The Muslims may not have Ambani or Adani, but there are scores of Muslims in medium, small enterprises and below 100 crore turnover. So Muslims are, I mean, they want mobile phone, they want to use gadgetry, they want investment, they have aspiration as anybody else. So to mark them as separate entity
Tehseen,
and to use them as a vote bank, कि भाई ये तो गिनती है कि ये तो हमारे ही पास आएंगे. I think Muslims have moved away from there. So Muslims are not going to be bracketed as some, some come from some outside planet or some segment within
and maybe this is a message to all other parties.
You go to any university
who think
today,
that Muslims can just be segregated as a vote bank and taken for granted.
So these are the things which they want.
Waris Pathan, there's a message there for everyone.
Padmaja? Sorry.
Well, Padmaja, Well, Padmaja, let me tell you, the Congress ruled the country for several years. But what did they do for the betterment of the Muslims? What is the political empowerment? They were never educationally empowered. No jobs to the Muslim. Even the dropout rate of the Muslims, if you go to see, has gone down more than the Dalits. So they want 90% of the Muslims to vote for them, but the Congress does not want to anything for the betterment of them. Now talking about Maharashtra, there are 48 seats in Maharashtra.
Correct.
They could not find any Muslim candidates. Only one candidate they gave in Maharashtra. So there was an anger, and till now they did not have any options. So they will not vote for the BJP or Shiv Sena. So they went and voted for the Congress. We did not do anything for them. But now the people found an alternative. There were All India Muslim Ittihadul Muslimin. Vanchit Bahujin Aghadi was there in Maharashtra. So the people went out and they voted against the Congress, against the BJP. And
that the Congress accused the BJP in 2014 of not fielding a single Muslim candidate, but the Congress itself barely found one candidate who was Muslim in Maharashtra. Why?
Very
little selective,
in
right?
Mumbai,
This secularism.
in Mumbai, there are several Muslims staying Padmaja, but not a single Muslim candidate was given.
I don't recollect, but in may I speak? I thought you asked me this question. Thank you. I don't recollect whether it was in 2015. I said this to RG or to Priyanka, but I do remember having this conversation. And I repeat, the Gandhis are very, very secular, and they people who take people along. But you have to understand the rest of the Congress leadership. The rest of the Congress leadership, and I have no hesitation saying this on national TV, get very, very, very scared of understanding and putting Muslims forward. And there is tokenism. Tokenism is not going to work. For example, and just one line more, Shakil Ahmed Saab in Bihar. ब्रिलियंट कैंडिडेट, उन्होंने इतनी सेवा की है कांग्रेस की, अरे छाती ठोक कर उनको टिकट देना चाहिए था. आपको तेजस्वी को फोन करना चाहिए था, तेजस्वी को बोलना चाहिए था इनको लड़ाओ. आप तेजस्वी, आप उनको नहीं लड़ाओगे तो किसको लड़ाओगे? शकील अहमद साहब नहीं जाएंगे.
But it's the lowest rung in the Congress, which is treating Muslims as a vote bank and actually not doing anything for them.
Yes, and I think that's a point I want to make after having heard all of you. I think political taken for grantedness of any community by any political party in a democracy like ours, which is as vibrant as this and which has the second largest Muslim population of the world, is extremely undesirable. And I think Muslims are making their options, they're feeling their options, they're exploring their options, and they refuse to be in this stranglehold of the Congress. Gone are the days where Congress would just use them as vote banks. Muslims, like Zafar Bhai said, are aspirational. They also want good roads, good highways, better access, great skills, better education, bank credit facility. They want to go to the banks and access. They want to be stakeholders. So, and when all the journalists write these articles about minority and how Muslims are living in a state of fear, they perpetuate this very otherness. They perpetuate it. Because they dabble with this fear mongering and they perpetuate it and create this fear mongering which keeps Muslims in a sort of a political ghetto. So I think it's important for Muslims to break out of this political ghetto, and they are exploring these options. And also I want to make another point, this thing that is being said about Congress and the Muslim leaders, there is a long history. Shakil is the last one. There is Rahman Khan from Bangalore. There was Arif Muhammad Khan before that. So I mean, it's a long history of how Congress is treating
the people, the Muslims.
Saeed Aslam.
That if you don't vote
with all
for
due
us,
respect to, with all due respect to, with all due respect to Shazia Ilmiji, I want to tell her this fear mongering is created by the BJP, ma'am. Yeah, I mean, if someone else has used the Muslims as the vote bank, but you are the ones who are creating this fear.
I don't think it is. I don't think fear mongering is done by the BJP government in terms of policy, in terms of the official BJP policy and implementation, and where the government. This is what you do. This is what you use. This is exactly what you use to scare Muslims off BJP.
We also need the education.
This is your way of getting votes from Muslims. You will have to work harder. You will have to work harder to get the Muslim vote. You cannot raise the RSS bogey throughout. You've raised the RSS bogey and the BJP bogey for years. And you've got your votes. But it's not working anymore. Muslims want good governance. Muslims want financial inclusion.
Put the genesis.
Aslam, Syed Aslam. Let's put our data where our mouth is. Let's put our data where our mouth is. And I want Waris Pathan and Zafar Sareshwala and Shazia Ilmi also to take a look at this very interesting data of how the Muslims have voted over the last 5 elections. Now, let's take a look at the Congress. Since 1999, the Congress vote share among Muslims has actually dipped, and in the last 3 elections, it has hit a plateau. As opposed to, and you'd be shocked about this, Syed Aslam, the BJP has very little but has steadily made gains, and this year too, in this election, they are expected to gain 3% of Muslim votes to go beyond 11%. So how bad does the Congress have to be that some Muslims actually repose their faith in the BJP Zafar Sareshwala, which Syed Aslam is saying
So
is
there is awakening
anti-Muslim?
in the community, Padmaja. There is a Padmaja. Let me tell you, there is awakening in the community. The community
Padmaja,
also feels that they want to be politically empowered. They want education. They want infrastructure to be improved, and they don't want to live in ghettos. But the areas of where the Muslims are living, they are marginalized areas.
But
I
sir,
can tell
all
you
of you
there are
ghettoize them.
more
All of you
police
ghettoize
stations
them.
in a Muslim
Earlier it
area
was the
than
Congress.
banks
They
and
have been
education
abandoned.
because they were in power. Congress
Tomorrow
were
it
in
could be
power.
you, sir.
The Muslims were being threatened time and again.
Tomorrow
That if
it
you
could
don't
be
vote for
IMIM.
us, BJP will come to power. But
Tomorrow
now
it
we
could
are
be
not afraid
JDS
of the
as
threat.
well.
We have got
How
an
are you
alternative
different
and
from
we
the
will vote
Congress?
for the alternative. That is what the mood of the nation
Padmaja, I
is.
will give you 2-3 real examples. Padmaja, I can
kindly
give you
come
real
with me
life
to Ahmedabad and
examples.
see how
They're from
different
people
the
I know.
Congress.
One I can
We
tell you
know-
from
we are
Just a
three
second, just a
families
second.
in
I think
Bahrain.
Zafar Sareshwala should speak. I think Zafar Sareshwala should speak.
You are, for that you will have
Mr.
to come to
Sareshwala.
our
I'm telling you this.
Mr. Sareshwala replying to Waris Pathan. Yes.
Padmaja,
Kindly watch with your own eyes what have you
yeah,
done for the betterment of
Padmaja,
the community and the
you know,
minorities.
the figures which you have shown about this election, it is articulating certain things which have happened in this government. For example, lot of things which this government has done, the benefit have also reached the Muslim community. For example, they started with Jan Dhan. Now I know I have spent all my life in financial services. Before that, it was impossible for a very poor man living on the street to open a bank account. When the Prime Minister announced in 2015, more than 32 crore accounts were opened, which was impossible. So proportionately, very large number of Muslims also have got those accounts. Now those accounts have two things. They have a debit card and an insurance policy. So almost every Muslim has got that. Plus they have started giving direct credit, gas subsidy. That is going, that is seen, the money, the color of the money is being seen, getting in Muslims' accounts.
Just make them feel like human beings equal to everyone else.
Proportionately, those gas cylinders also started going to people.
So
the benefits, whatever they are.
See, the constitution says everybody is equal. Let me tell you, Padmaja, let me give you an example. In Maharashtra, there were 3 committees report suggestive of the fact that the caste Muslims need reservation. They are economically and socially backward. But the government remained in power for 15 years. The Congress was in power. They did not give reservation to the Muslims while going in 2014. They give just 15% and 5% in job with the BJP removed it. So does the Muslim not require reservation? I am not asking for my own son, but there are aspirants, there are family, there are parents who want their children to become IAS and IPS officers like the others do. But why this inequality? When the constitution says everybody is equal before law, then why this equality with the Muslims for several years? Now they are aware about their rights.
Padmaja, we had this conversation last time, and I remember. So I'm glad that Zafar Sareshwala is finally agreeing, because last time he wasn't. So I'm glad he's coming around and saying that BJP, when it comes to policy implementation and all the schemes for the poor and the aspirational India, of which Muslims are a huge part of, there has been no discrimination on the basis of religion. Last time I made this claim, and I'm asking if there's any one Muslim family which can say that when it comes to opening a bank account under Jan Dhan Yojana, or a Muslim citizen getting under Ujjwala Yojana a gas cylinder, or going to the bank and getting a Mudra Yojana or a Stand Up India Yojana, has there been any discrimination? No, don't speak over me, sir. I wasn't doing it. Padmaja, you have to ask him to allow me to speak. Padmaja, allow him.
Sir, you will always have things that you want to get better.
Padmaja will have to intervene.
Just a second, Waris Pathan, just a second.
Please allow me to speak.
Yeah, I have a simple point. You will always have grouses that this could have also been done.
बारिश भाई मुझे बात तो खत्म करने दीजिए.
Okay, Shazia, finish your point.
Yes, so I want to say that this is the way, instead of always dividing Muslims and looking at the separateness of their being and treating them as a minority, they have to be mainstreamed and considered part and equal stakeholders in the Indian economy, in the Indian polity. Political mobilization alone is not enough. Economic empowerment and financial inclusion is the key to the growth of our Muslim brothers and sisters, and that is what BJP government has done, and also a lot of Muslim sisters, and that is the example, Padmaja, I wanted to give. I know in Bahraich, I know in Allahabad, there are wives, Muslim wives, and some cousins, they've insisted and they've asked their husbands to all vote for BJP because they actually like BJP for the stand it took on triple talaq. This is actually a reality. These are people I know. So,
all right,
so this is a reality as well. So the numbers you're seeing there of Muslims, they're the women who are voting for BJP.
Okay, I am going to end at this point with some key takeaways of the data that we have seen so far. Why is this important? Because I think it is important for all political parties in our country to stop engaging in the politics of ghettoization and appeasement, because this election, Muslims have given clear messages to political parties across the board. They have said that the Congress is not their party of choice anymore. The Congress simply cannot afford to take them for granted. The second is that they choose the Congress only when it's a bipolar fight with the BJP, when the Muslims have no other option but to vote for the Congress, because the only other contestant is the BJP. The third is that Muslims choosing strong regional parties over the Congress. They want someone to put up a fight. In Varanasi, I spoke to many people, many Muslims who said, we thought Priyanka Gandhi is going to contest, that in Uttar Pradesh, the Congress is going to fight the BJP. When that didn't happen, they went for the Mahagathbandhan instead, 75% like you just saw. The next message is that Muslims have voted in one huge block. In most of the big states, we've seen 65%, 75%, a huge chunk has gone to one party or one collective. And finally, there is a very small but steady growth in the support that the Bharatiya Janata Party is enjoying from the Muslims. Are these progressive policies that have helped, and what stops all parties from engaging in these welfare schemes addressed to Muslims? Don't treat them as a vote bank alone. Don't take them for granted. Engage with them and treat them like all citizens in a democratic country. I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks very much for having joined us on debate number 1.